All right, now I never presented that part of the lecture because I was very skeptical about CBDs and CBD oils for the longest time. I have to say that I come from a very conservative background. I never had pot as a teenager or a student because in uh, our part of the country land it was not acceptable for a good girl from a good family. I know in the United States it was the time when people used it a lot, and most of my patients tried pot at least at some point of their life. So for a long time I was skeptical, but a lot of my patients would use CBD and THC, and finally I decided that it's embarrassing that my patients know more and deeper something than I do. So I attended a special seminar for 3 days in Philadelphia, which was, not in Florida, which was dedicated only to CBD oils, and the speakers were neurosurgeons, medical doctors, PhD in neuroscience, and very, very interesting people and knowledgeable people. And they reported that there are over 17,000 clinical studies on CBD right now. So doctors all over the world are studying the CBD. First of all, I would like just in few words as about the history. First of all, hemp is Chinese herb. We just, when I studied Chinese herb, studied only seeds as a laxative. We didn't study anything about flowers or leaves because at that point it was illegal in the United States. So I was trained here 27 years ago, so I didn't study anything about flowers of hemp. If you go into the history, you're gonna see that Chinese doctors were using hemp 2,900 years BC. In Book of Exodus in Bible, hemp is mentioned about 4 times, and it has the name of Canaan. And it was mostly dedicated to the use of higher priests when they would go into meditative stage, when they would get their messages from God. In Egypt, they used it for treating glaucoma and any sorts of inflammation. In India, with Ayurvedic medicine, they use it as anesthetic, digestive disorders, and even dysentery, and 80 other conditions. So Ayurveda is really filled with use of cannabis. The presidents, the founding fathers of the United States, George Washington, Jefferson, Madison, they all grew cannabis in their fields. So it was legal. Eli Lilly Company, which most of you probably know because they designed a lot of interesting drugs, were using the cannabinoids before 1937 as anti-pain medications and anti-anxiety medications. In 1937, they made marijuana illegal in the United States because they made alcohol legal, so they made marijuana illegal. So that is kind of the history of what happened with marijuana in this country. Now there's a huge difference between hemp and between marijuana. It is completely different leaf, and you see that hemp is growing kind of like bamboo. It is kind of like a grass. Where marijuana, I don't have a picture there, I should prepare another slide. You've probably seen the leaf of marijuana, it's all over right now. So hemp plant does not have originally THC, or has it less than 0.3%. So that's the difference between marijuana and hemp. So hemp is used for making fabrics, making boxes, making paper, but also they make from the flowers the pure CBD oil from hemp. from marijuana they make a different medication or recreational drug which has a high amount of THC. Yeah. Now more on.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
How about hemp? We got it in the package. It's like a seed put in a cereal or something. It's okay.
Hemp seed.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah.
have laxative effect, nothing else. You will not get high from this seed.
Nothing.
No, hemp seeds has only a laxative effect. It doesn't make you high and it doesn't have painkiller effect. The painkiller effect will have only the flower. But again, the difference between CBD oils, I am by law allowed only to work with CBD oils because that is in scope on my practice. Although THC also legal in United States and a lot of doctors will prescribe it for you in dispensary, unfortunately, it is very complicated and great area because federally it is still not legal. So the doctors who work in dispensary, usually they're risking their license if federal government will check them. And most doctors with reputation and a lot to lose, they will never prescribe or recommend the marijuana or THC because it's still illegal on a federal level. And there are a lot of, you probably know, political work happening at the level of government where they're trying to legalize it for certain things. And about a month ago, the wonderful drug, I forgot the name of a drug company who get FDA approval for cannabis plant, so it has THC for children with epilepsy. Yeah, you probably all heard Charlotte's Web and the whole story about it. So there is one drug which FDA approved right now, but they're still not using it in the United States because on the federal level it's still not cleared, although FDA approved it. But we sell it right now to Germany and England and other countries, but not using it still in the United States, which kind of ironic. Yes.
How about the hemp powder? Like I bought it from the, supermarket. I want to know, are they really good to use it?
Well, I'm gonna talk about how to know which CBD is good and which CBD is not good. Okay. So first of all, the difference between THC and CBD, we all have cannabinoid system. We are born with it. All animals have cannabinoid system. So we are born with it. But if you never use CBD in your life, or if you never smoke marijuana, this system is not activated in your body. And what?
Mine's active.
Okay, so if I give somebody CBD and I'm asking them, did you ever try marijuana or did you ever try CBD oil, and they tell me no, I tell them don't expect the result on the first time, because although you have this system, if it's not activated, you will not have effect. So wait until it's gonna start working. Wait for 1 or 2 treatments before you're gonna start using it. And there are CB1 and CB2 factors, and they all have different effects. So CBD oil will work for both CB1 and CB2. CBN only on CB2. THC works on all levels. So you can see that cannabinoid system in our body basically is everywhere. It's in your brain, it's in your spine, it's in your limbs, it's in your kidney, in reproductive organs, in legs, feet, everywhere. That's why it is so good for pain. Now there are a lot of companies who are trying to make a lot of money on it, and before I picked a couple of companies which I feel comfortable with. I was on many shows, and every time when I ask the company to give me a sample, I also ask them to give to me independent third lab report. And that is very important. I'm gonna show you how that report looks. You cannot see it very well, but you probably still can see that, so it is CV Science. It is a big company. So they tell me here that THC here is less than 0.3. They show microbiology telling me that there is no E. coli, there is no salmonella, there are no microbes which gonna cause any conditions. They're gonna show that there is none of heavy metals. They're gonna also show that there is no pesticides. You see like the whole line of pesticides and the answer is no. And this is the report on cannabinoid. So it tells you about the whole entourage effect. Entourage effect, the reason we prefer natural CBD versus like chemically derived because it has the whole entourage effect. And that is something which makes you calm. It's like your lavender, it's your peppermint, it's a lot of different chemicals which create that whole entourage. To be honest with you, I like not a completely pure CBD. I like CBD which has a little bit of THC. Like by law we allowed only 0.3. 0.3 will not make you high. It doesn't have any psychoactive effect. You will not have La La Land experience. But THC is good for delivery system. Now the doctors who are kind of not afraid to break the law, I'm not one of those, and they use THC. They claim, and I heard the lecture from a doctor who actually was originally trained in the United States, then lived with his wife in Morocco for 16 years, and had the whole CBD oil company. And now he's on the board of directors of one of the big American CBD companies. He had, because it was not illegal, he could experiment with different concentrations of THC and CBD. So his rule of thumb was start with a very low amount of THC, like about 1 to 30. So it would be 1 portion of THC and 30 parts of CBD. Because everybody have different reaction. Unfortunately, a lot of doctors and a lot of people who are working in dispensaries, they have no education about it. Like I have patients who brings me CBD oil and they said, okay, the doctor who gave it to me in dispensary said that I should use in the morning and that I should use in the evening. And I'm looking at the one in the morning and it's 1 to 8. I said, do you realize that you're totally stoned right now? You just drove your car totally stoned. He said, no, they told me to take it in the morning. I said, what did they tell you to do in the evening? If they do 1 to 8 in the morning. I mean, it's a high concentration. So I tell the patients, in the morning you should do no THC, or like 0.3 THC. And then you're safe. And different people like it in different forms, I also learned. Like, I know a lot of patients who like it in an oil form with mint taste, so they put it under their tongue. Yeah. For some people, it's like, they say it's like mouthwash or toothpaste. I don't want to do that. So for them, I have water soluble, where they just put 20 drops in the water, mix it, and the water becomes a little bit bitter, but it doesn't have the taste of mouthwash. A lot of patients like it in a capsule form because that's very easy to swallow, doesn't have any taste in the mouth. So there is forms in a pill form. And I very much like the one